Having periods is great. That is really an unpopular opinion. Take my upvote. Yeah. You got me there. Good unpopular opinion. Missed my period for like 2 months and it was great. No particular reason. I was healthy. It was just great. There is absolutely nothing positive about having periods except knowing you're not pregnant IMO. All I get is the blood. No cramps, even. I still disagree. I hate worrying about bleeding onto everything. I'd like a hysterectomy when I'm older. Yes, unpopular, I can't describe my sadness when my period comes. The pain I have for the week ruins most things I have planned because the pain puts me in a grumpy mood. I'm a girl but I have PCOS and don't have natural periods but have dealt with them. Personally, I prefer to not have them. I don't give a shit if I'm infertile but the risk of cancer is pretty bad, so in that regard periods are useful. I wouldn't go as far as to do a happy dance though if they were regular for me. Unless I had a pregnancy scare. Great unpopular opinion. But I agree that having a predictable period is a comforting sign that your body is working right. Me too. I like them ever since I got a cup and now they are a breeze. The thing I love about them, it's an excuse to get some chocolate, comfy pants, a hot water bottle, blankie, and watch a nice movie and just be kind to myself. Then once it's over in a few days I feel like $1 million, and do my best work in the next 2 weeks. Have an upvote because of how truly unpopular this is. Also, I'm glad you somehow found periods to not be a trip to hell. I haven't had a full period for over a decade strictly because of my birth control and I dread the day that they return. I've also never experienced a normal, predictable period either though. All of the nausea, vomiting, anemia, debilitating cramps, mood swings, hot flashes, no thank you. I'm a guy and I even disagree with this. From what I have heard it's hell. You can have it. I hate my periods. They're messy and painful and I was never able to get pregnant so it's always felt like a cruel joke and makes me angry when I get it. Definitely hard disagree with this one. I've had Mirna IUDs consistently and haven't had a period in 10 years. Not to mention, 0 pregnancy scares. Best decision I ever made. I've been super irregular this year. I probably skipped my last 2 or 3 periods due to being unhealthy as shit these past few months. I too feel great when my period actually comes, means everything in my body is working as it should. This frightens me. I've seen this opinion get posted before. So many people mistake a regular period for a sign that you are perfectly healthy down there. It's definitely not. This is why fertility and other reproductive health issues often shock women when they first get diagnosed. As someone with severe endo, this is very unpopular. I agree. I hate the pain and the mood swings that comes with it, but it's good to know my body's working and I'm not pregnant. As someone who's never had regular periods, basically turned into once a year, and was told it would be difficult for me to conceive naturally at age 21, when I started having regular periods suddenly a few months ago, it felt like a really good thing. Like my body was functioning properly. It didn't feel healthy to not be having my period, and it isn't, generally. Even though periods suck to have, having people tell me you're so lucky to not get your period really isn't the right thing to say because of its implications. So I get you. Why am I getting the sense that this isn't written by a girl edg? Have like 100 upvotes. I really like when my period is regular. Unfortunately, though, I bleed about 2/3 of the time pretty heavily, 7 days on, 2 days off, 5 days on, 1 week off, etc. randomly. so I'm pretty happy when I'm not bleeding. I'm very shocked to read this, but at the same time happy that you look at it as a positive thing. I haven't had my period for 6 months and I never thought that I would miss having a period. I feel like this is an actually unpopular opinion. I wouldn't have ever agreed until I stopped getting them. Brew glad someone enjoys it because I for one hate it. I'm uncomfortable, I'm in pain, and I break out. Unpopular for sure but valid. Also hilariously, this reminded me that I had forgotten to take my birth controls, so thank you for that. True. I have PCOS and I didn't have my period for 6 months, which caused fatigue and my blood pressure to be lower than average. When I finally received my period, I felt so much better. I mean, you win the most unpopular opinion prize, lol. I spent my teenage years losing so much blood I was anemic. I went through a super plus tampon and granny pad by the end of 4th period every morning. Undiagnosed thyroid disease does that. At 38 I have never had a droplet, more like a cup of fluid, while being doubled over with cramps starting at age 10. After having a golf ball-sized ovarian cyst misdiagnosed as cancer at 21, I could do without the whole system. I have treatment-resistant insomnia and depression for the week before, and I am happily child-free. Glad you feel good? I've never experienced it personally, just an unending hormonal hell punctuated by trials of birth control pills that inevitably do something so weird I have to come off of them. After having a fucked up cycle for most of 2020, I can definitely say I appreciate my normal period more. Though, I still feel like I get hit by a truck anytime it comes around. It's the symptoms I hate, not the actual process. Really an unpopular opinion. Great job. Take my upvote. I hate my period and I dread it when it comes. I never want to be pregnant or have children, so it's a curse I will never profit from. I remember missing my period and being so goddamn happy at the month of freedom I received. Truly unpopular, lol. My period basically feels pointless since I don't want to be pregnant anyway. If I could take it away forever, I would. Nobody likes the actual period, they just like what it represents. Regular periods are a sign that you're healthy and fertile. Nobody enjoys having blood dripping out of them for a week. Maybe if you don't have endometriosis and a period means crippling pain. This is a nightmare for people with endometriosis, it's debilitating. Finally, someone who understands. I feel the same way about mine, it makes me feel healthy and in tune with my body. I'm lucky though, I don't bleed a lot, and it doesn't hurt too much. I feel like this is popular amongst a lot of young people who may at times be reckless with protection and are terrified of a pregnancy scare. I know I myself feel relief after being a few days late. My period itself is not bad at all. It comes at the exact same time every month because of my birth control pills. It's always on a Wednesday and it is finished by Saturday. It's light and simple and always on time. What I have a problem with is the pain caused by my endometriosis. The days of the pain differ, but the past year especially, I have had debilitating pain for at least 3 days during or near my period. When the pain strikes, I can hardly function. I still go to work, but anytime I am not needed, I'm in the back squatting, if you know you know, and using a heat pack and stifling tears. My period itself is fine. I don't love it or anything, but I appreciate and respect it. I just wish that it didn't bring about amounts of pain I don't think any innocent person deserves to live through. I wish that I didn't have to spend 3-5 days a month in so much pain I can barely see straight. So to conclude, fuck endometriosis, but periods in and of themselves are cool, I guess. Good for you, feel however you want. Personally, I have never understood how a swamp load of bloody mucus clumping its way out of my fun hut is feminine. I'm guessing you don't have really heavy flow, severe cramps, PMDD, period-triggered migraines, or the other symptoms/severity some people get that make periods truly miserable. No hate, and I'm not trying to hate on your positivity. I'm just saying. I wholeheartedly agree with this. This was the first time I'm on the depot shot and it completely stopped my period. I hate it. I actually miss my period. I miss the feeling of happiness that I'm not pregnant. I miss the feeling of changing an old pad with a fresh new one. Plus, when I get my periods, I consider those my self-care days. I go extreme on the face masks and body masks and detoxes, all that, so I can feel good. I just miss it. I can't wait for the shot to wear off so I can get it back. I realized how much having my periods makes me feel normal. My birth control has been really messed up lately. I've had a period for almost a month now with 4 days between the bleeding. I wish I had a normal period right now. At least you know you're not pregnant. Nice unpopular opinion. My period just gives me pain and dysphoria, smiley face. I very slightly agree with your reasoning. I don't have periods. Definitely an unpopular opinion, lol. I hate periods, I always feel sick and headachy, etc. Sure, it normal, but I hate it. Well/u/I_m_sweet_potato, you are an odd fellow, but I must say, you opinion a good unpopular. I prefer it over pregnancy. I still feel gross during it, but still. Having your period is a good thing because it means your reproductive system is working, but the actual experience sucks. A lot of experiences suck though, like getting stabbed in the stomach. I wouldn't know, but I'm guessing it sucks. Wow, this is so strange to me. I have a particular bad period, I get horrible cramps and the medication I take for it leaves me pretty drugged up. Nevertheless, I'm happy for you that you like it. Prostaglandin-induced nausea, acid reflux, painful constipation, and burning pain in stomach, take my upvote for unpopularity. I mean, I have PCOS and my periods are all over the place, and IDC if I'm not fertile, but if you don't have periods you are at risk of developing ovarian cancer, so there's that. As someone with endometriosis and adenomyosis, I wholeheartedly agree. Symptoms of endo/adeno aren't confined to just getting your period. Because my cycle is /3 months long, I would have symptoms that lasted for weeks, instead of a couple of days. I'm not saying this is true for everyone, since endo symptoms can vary, but if I had to choose between being out of commission for a couple days once a month and being out for a whole month every few months, I personally would pick the former. Not to mention that if your period is regular, you can plan ahead to account for your symptoms. If you don't know when you're going to get your period, you can't. Thank you for an actual unpopular opinion. You are lucky that you see your periods in a positive light. To me, it's the complete opposite. They throw my hormones in such an imbalance that I start to feel disgusted and detached from my body. I start to be irrationally angry against myself and everything around me. Luckily now we have medicine to stop periods. I get your point, mine is pretty much random, twice a year or maybe thrice. I really hate it, but it reminds me my body is somewhat working normally. But I still would like not to have them at all and just enjoy my life without the cramps and pains in the breasts, or any mood swing. I mean, I don't mind having my period as I don't have any pains or anything. But honestly, I don't like feeling fertile. Fertile means possible babies. Goddamn, I wish I were you. If I'm lucky, I'll be basically crippled every time a cramp hits. Explaining why I'm not moving in school was always fun. If it's real bad, well, hospital trips are always fun. Right? Well, big ups to you for having a truly unpopular opinion. The only good thing about clinical depression was that I became too depressed to eat for a year, lost 20 pounds, and lost my period for 3 years as a result of being unhealthily underweight. Easily the worst period of my life mentally, but physically I was on top of the world. Fuck periods. I'd probably welcome periods if they meant I could have kids, but perhaps I'm being overly optimistic about how mild the symptoms would be. I don't envy a lot of you in the comments. As it is, there's a good chance I'll get everything but the bleeding and fertility anyway, which if it happens will just feel like a pointless kick to the gut, figuratively, and perhaps literally if I'm unlucky. Oh my! Wow! I haven't had my periods in 3.5 years and I never felt better. Granted, I suffer from endo, so OFC I am going to hate periods. I can't imagine someone happy to be on their periods, unless they were scared of being pregnant maybe. This is an unpopular opinion if I ever saw one. I totally get what you mean. Felt similar for the first few months after getting periods again. It just feels good to be healthy again. But not trying to drag you down here, it does get old. Lovely to read, thank you. I think it's great, it's a positive experience for you, but, like most other people, I have to disagree. I didn't have my period when I was 15 for about a year either. I was unhealthy, but it hasn't made me any more appreciative of my period. Yeah, I'm relieved my body is functioning the way it's supposed to, but that's it. My period isn't even bad. It's not extremely heavy or anything, and I don't feel any pain at all. I just feel incredibly gross for a week, and I worry all the time that it's going to ambush me, because it's irregular, or it'll bleed through my clothes. So yeah, nice my body is working, definitely don't enjoy it though. Highly unpopular. I'm on it right now and I feel like crap. I'm effectively wearing a diaper to catch blood, I have a headache and cramps, and I hate everything. I don't feel feminine in the slightest. I feel like a mess who is too tired to get up and eat something. I wish it could be such a bliss. I've been hospitalized for how excruciatingly painful mine are sometimes. So I guess it varies between people. Not the same, but related, many people find baby poop and pee disgusting. When my kid was born I learned to find those a blessing. If a baby is pooping, farting and peeing, it means everything is functioning properly. Learn to live with what nature gave you and make the best of it. Periods make me want to redacted. You can take mine LMAO. So I think you need to acknowledge that you are posting this from an extreme point of privilege. For starters, not everyone can afford period products like pads or tampons, so getting a period is a real hassle with self-cleanliness for poorer people. Second of all, there are people, such as myself, that their period is really bad or they have a chronic illness or condition that gets really bad. For me it triggers my cyclic vomiting syndrome and I often end up in the ER because I'm so dehydrated I pass out. So it's great that periods are so good for you, but remember they are horrible for a lot of people. I don't particularly enjoy my period as I would be in pain, but I totally feel you on being reassured that your body is functioning healthily. I get irregular periods for no reason, so I'm always anxious if it doesn't come because I'm scared there's something wrong or that it does come, but at a very bad time. The anticipation of it every month is frustrating, but I do feel momentary relief when it arrives. Absolute madness. Yeah. Nope. This was posted already with roughly the same wording. OP, what are you trying to accomplish here? This really is an unpopular opinion. I loved never having one. LOL. I've heard of people on track team or those who work out pretty hard also skip periods. It's not necessarily a sign that your body is unhealthy. Welp, we found ourselves a masochist. I haven't had a period in 10 years and I do not regret a single moment of it. You can have all the periods you want. doesn't make me less of a woman for choosing not to have one, and doesn't make you more of a woman for wanting to have one.